Rinpoche, should we progress further on this LOH-JONG training, or would Rinpoche like to speak about the LOH-JUDE or
LOH-JUDE practice was also included in the LOH-JONG.
LOH-JONG? Yes.
When we talk about, as I explained, the LOH-JONG, yes. LOH is a mind, JONG is a train. Now, I can give you a few examples like great masters in the past, the Kadampa masters. Some they have a because as a doctor, because they say they're specialist for heart, specialist for liver, specialist for brain. Likewise, those great masters say they're specialized, a specialist on compassion practice, specialist on the karma and the cause and the result, and the specialist on the wisdom. So one of them is very much practicing cause and effect. So he cries always. You know, he cries. So he said, the cry is my practice. Yes. So his master wondered why you are crying all the time. Did you see something wrong, or did you see something very unusual, or something makes you not really happy? He said, none of them. Because cry makes me open my heart and my mind to all the sentient beings. Until now, I always consider myself. I think of for my purpose. I consider for my purpose. But now, I understood or I realized all my problems come from selfishness. Being selfish, never consider for others. So that's how all the problem comes from. From this example, I could see all sentient beings' problem same, because the cause is selfish, being selfish. Now, I want to give up this selfishness. So once you have given up the selfishness attitude, selfish attitude, then you are seeing all sentient beings how much suffering there's samsara. They're supposed not to suffer, because the suffering itself is not truly existed, but then due to being selfish, this attitude caused this. So therefore, I pray, may all sentient beings be free from the selfish attitude. Then only they can be free from the suffering and the pain. So therefore, with that perspective, I'm practicing not only the compassion alone, but the compassion associated with understanding of wisdom. So I'm seeing the true nature of their mind is never disturbed. Yet, lack of recognition of such, so therefore they are wandering this samsara. So I feel more pity, I feel more compassionate. So therefore, when I cry, I feel very happy, relief, at the same time more strengthen the power of compassion. Then at the same time, I pray that may all sentient beings be able to arise compassion as much as I what could generate. So that's how I could see that compassion is not only feel pity on others, but without associate or wisdom, then your practice of compassion is very limited. Yes. It cannot go beyond. So the support is with the wisdom, one can see through very clearly. So with that, the method, then one can help all sentient beings be free from the suffering. And then there is a natural joy or happiness or interest or something that you could work with all sentient beings. Otherwise, our practice with the compassion bodhicitta, sometimes obligation, because my master says this and the teaching says that I should practice, yet there is no natural joy or happiness. So therefore, as a bodhisattva, we are all Mahayana anyway. We cannot deny, because everybody sometimes they feel shy, say that, are you bodhisattva? They say, no, I'm not bodhisattva, because they think that if I say it, it's kind of a show off. But you have to be proud. You have to be proud because you have taken bodhisattva vow, and you have taken very deep commitment, saying that I'm going to work with all sentient beings, regardless of my relative, family, or stranger, whatsoever. There's no partiality. All sentient beings, I will work with them. So you have taken this such a deep commitment in front of your master, in front of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Then why you have to feel ashamed of being the Bodhisattva? So you have to be proud. So being proud, and this pride leads you to the right path. then you can practice like 6 perfections, like generosity, the discipline, and the patience, and the diligence, then the concentration, the wisdoms. So all the activities or the practice of with the view, meditation, conduct of Mahayana leads by being determined with your practice. So therefore, but at the beginning, you have to examine your capacity. You just don't go and get bodhisattva vow. It's not practical. Sometimes you may make mistake later part. So therefore, you have to be determined. You have to get ready, and you should know your capacity and your ability, whether you are really be able to be a bodhisattva or not. So therefore, every practice is so systematic in the sense of the Buddha's teaching. But then the problem is once you have a lack of determination, once a lack of the wisdom, once a lack of recognition of yourself, then you just get into the practice, you make a lot of mistakes in your practice. So therefore, LOH-JONG is something very direct and a very open teaching, which is I think is very suitable in this modern society, particularly young generations. Like now here in Bhutan, we have a great challenge with the young generations, so because they lost direction, they lost the way, they lost the way of thinking, so they engage all this kind of the sad things. So in order to change this attitude, if they apply LOH-JONG practice with the wisdom, I'm sure they can make a great change in their life.
Yes, yes. And another important thing to bear in mind is, like Rinpoche said, in the beginning itself, to know your own capability and capacity as well.
Yeah.
Western saying that came to mind is to not bite more than you can chew.
Yes, right.
Yes.